Second noble thought or the noble principle among the four is the cause of dukkha is craving. First one is the existence is dukkha. Second one, the cause of dukkha is craving. That is a trishna. The natural human tendency is to blame our difficulties on things outside ourselves. But the Buddha says that their actual root is to be found in the mind itself. In particular, our tendency to grasp things or alternatively to push them away places us fundamentally at odds with the way life really is. So what is the real cause of your suffering? That is the desire. That is the trishna. The craving is the real cause of your sorrow. Or all existence is dukkha on account of the fact the second noble principle tells that the cause of your dukkha is the craving. We crave things, and it is said man is a bundle of desires, desires after desires. Hardly one desire is fulfilled, then we jump on to another. It keeps on coming. There is no stoppage of the desires, and continuously we will be in search of fulfilling that or chasing after these desires. And the reason, why do you desire? If desire is the real cause of your suffering, why then do I desire? You desire because you are ignorant. Ignorant of what? Ignorant about the true nature of the phenomenal world around you. The phenomenal world, the true nature of the phenomenal world is insubstantial, impermanent, and constantly on the move. They are transient, they are kshanika. Momentariness is the very nature of the phenomenal world. But we are become unaware of that, and we give the false value to things or this phenomenal world, that is permanency. And because of that begins the real problem, or you begin to desire for things. So you are unaware of its true nature, and therefore you fall into that trap of believing that they are permanent things. So we have the first two noble principles. First, the all existence is dukkha. Second, the cause of this dukkha is the craving or trishna. Third noble principle is that the cessation of dukkha comes with the cessation of craving. Is it possible to escape from dukkha? And Buddha says, yes, it's possible. When you put a full stop to your craving, then you are going to be free from that dukkha. As we are the ultimate cause of our difficulties, we are also the solution. We cannot change the things that happen to us, but we can change our responses. So your response is very much depending upon you, but what is happening to you, perhaps you have no control over that. How other people are going to deal with you, or what is happening around you, the natural calamities, phenomena and all that, you don't have a control over them. But you have a control over what is going to be your response. And therefore, the cessation of dukkha or the stoppage of dukkha comes with the cessation of the craving or the trishna. That is the third noble principle. The fourth noble principle is that there is a path that leads from dukkha. So how to put a full stop of that? So there is a path which leads you from the path of dukkha. Although the Buddha throws responsibility back onto the individual, he also taught methods through which we can change ourselves. For example, the Noble Eightfold Path. So the Noble Eightfold Path will clearly tell us an ethical way of life, a true or the righteous way of life, which will help you to get away from the clutch or the hold of dukkha. And what are these noble eightfold paths? Buddha's noble eightfold path is further unpacking of the threefold way and is perhaps the most widely known the Buddha's teaching. So always the question was, what are the ways or means in order to stop this craving or trishna and get away from or to be happy? And he was teaching that eightfold ways or the Ashtanga Marga, which will help you to travel away from the field of dukkha. It is ancient, extending back to Buddha's first discourse, and is highly valued as a treasury of wisdom and practical guidance on how to live our lives. So he has already told that what is life, or the vision and the understanding of life according to Buddha. What he has visualized? He has visualized in the Four Noble Truths what it is. Sarvam Dukkhamaya. And there is the reason for that, why you are sorrowful or why you are sad. It's on account of your trishna, your craving for things. And why do you crave for things? Because you are ignorant of the true nature of the phenomenal world, the realities that are around you. So you don't know the true nature of the things existing around you or about you, and that you are not aware. And therefore that leads you. And then there is a cessation of, you can put a full stop to your trishna or the craving the moment you put a full stop to your desire. So desire is the cause of all your suffering. And the very desire of things on account of the fact that you are ignorant of the true nature of what the things are. And then the path that leads you from dukkha to happiness. And those are the Ashtanga Marga or the eightfold ways. And this is one of the primal teaching of Buddha himself from his own time. He himself has taught that. Traditionally, the teaching is seen as highlighting 8 areas or limbs of right practices. Sangha Rachita prefers perfect to right. It is said right action, right thought and all that. Instead of that, Sangha Rachita, Sanghara or Sangha Rachita wanted to put it as perfect thought, perfect living and all that, which is in mutual relationship to one another and are essential elements in an integrated approach to dharma. And what are these eightfold paths? They are, first one, right understanding or perfect vision. So we are giving both. What is given? There is some are of the opinion, instead of right, perfect is to be affixed, or a prefix of perfect is better than a prefix of right. So right understanding or perfect understanding. Second one, right resolve or perfect emotion. Third, right speech or perfect speech. Fourth, right action or perfect action. Fifth, right livelihood or perfect livelihood. Sixth one, right effort or perfect effort. Seventh, right mindfulness or perfect awareness. And eighth, right meditation and perfect samadhi. So these are the Ashtanga Marga or the eightfold ways which is going to give you the ultimate happiness, or the way you can make your life happy. So that's what we are looking for. Happiness is something which everyone is looking for, how to be happy. And Buddha's way of leading a happy life is to make yourself follow this Ashtanga Marga, and you will be a person living very much in accordance with the Buddhistic principles. They are right understanding or perfect understanding, right resolve or perfect emotion. Third, right speech or perfect speech. Fourth, right action or perfect action. Fifth, right livelihood or perfect livelihood. Sixth, right effort or perfect effort. Seventh, right mindfulness or perfect awareness. Eighth, right meditation or perfect samadhi. Now, a little bit of explanation into these aspects, what we have said, the Ashtanga Marga. Now, Kalamas, that's how he addressed his followers, Buddha himself addressed. Do not be led by reports or tradition or hearsay, but be not led by the authority of religious texts, nor by mere logic inference, nor by considering appearances, nor by the delight in speculative opinions, nor by seeming possibilities, nor by the idea. This is our teacher. But, O Kalamas, when you know for yourself that certain things are unwholesome and wrong and bad, then give them up. And when you know that certain things are wholesome and good, and that the wise believe them to be so, then accept them and follow them. In fact, he is calling you to follow a perfect conscious life. That is right mindfulness, right emotion, and all that is all the perfect. So what he means is that, so do not give or base yourself on the reports or tradition or hearsay. Be not led by the authority of religious texts, nor by the logic inference, nor by considering appearances, nor by the delight of speculative opinions, nor by seeming possibilities, nor by the idea. So what else to be done? So he says that this is going to be our teacher. And what is that? When you know for yourself that certain things are unwholesome and wrong and bad, then give them up. And when you know that certain things are wholesome and good, and that the wise believe them to be so, then accept them and follow them. So that is going to be the way. First, it is important to know what Buddhism teaches. The Buddha had a radical and distinctive approach to life which underlies the meditation and other practices Buddhists engage in. These teachings are challenging and inspiring and reveal a unique vision of human potential, but often they need interpretation and discussion if their relevance to our lives to become clear. Talks, courses and study groups that are held at every Triratna center are opportunities to hear the Dharma in this way and to make sense of it in terms of one's own life. Many centers also have books, and with books from across the Buddhist tradition. So how, that is, what are you to rely on? Rely on things which you feel that these things are good, acceptable, and it's not going to harm anyone else. It is for the betterment of everybody. Then accept them and follow them. And wise persons have done so, and you also follow the suit. And do not depend on the aspect of, because someone has said it, that is no reason for believing that. Reflecting on the Dharma can be done individually or with others. Study groups given a chance to clarify understanding, share experience, and learn new approaches along with others. So these are an important part of the teaching happens in Triratna. So Triratnas are centers where courses on meditation, discussion, teaching, classes, various activities are going on. So if you really want to know more about, then you go and join in these activities and become part of it. And it never tells you that you should become a Buddhist as such. So reasoning and showing you what is the reality about the life as such. Some people in Triratna Buddhist community have made thorough studies of aspects of Buddhism. Sangarachida is a respected scholar whose works have been influential both in East and the West. A member of the order, members are academics studying and teaching Buddhism in Europe and in US. So these people are totally dedicated. What they have received, the enlightenment, and they are not going to keep it with themselves, they are going to share it with others. The task for thinkers in our community, academics or otherwise, is not simply to know how Buddhism has been articulated in the East, but also to make links between it and Western culture, and to help to show how tradition applies in the modern world. Sangarachida emphasizes the need for critical and historical awareness of the Buddhist tradition that draws on a range of commercial material and in the study, including the findings of modern scholarship, the Buddhist tradition, and even comparative literature. So they are quite open, in the sense that there is no fixed elements here. Lot of discussion takes place. You can make an argument either for or against, and till your reason is satisfied and you become convinced, till then you can go on defending or objecting to. Meditating on Dharma is the third stage. Buddhism aims at an understanding of life which transforms one's entire being. Study often takes place in the context of retreats and seminars, and there is often an opportunity to reflect on Buddhist teaching in the context of meditation. So meditation is a method of transformation, transforming yourself, trying to grasp more details on that. Now there is maybe a question, that's a little bit of explanation regarding the whole, the Ashtanga Marga. Now what about rituals? Are there any rituals in Buddhism? Buddhism is a path of transformation. This means that it is not enough to understand it intellectually. Following the Buddhist path means that we must engage the emotion and the imagination. So both require an outlet. To have that emotional engagement means having devotion or faith, and a ritual is a way of directly engaging the emotion. So human being has got a lot of emotions, and the rituals become only a part of an outlet for this emotion. Buddhist rituals usually consist of three main elements. So there are some rituals performed by the Buddhist. And what are they? Recitation, chanting, and making offerings. So three aspects or three rituals are found in Buddhism. That is the recitation, chanting, and offering. The verses recited are usually associated with principal tenets and the ideals of Buddhism. They give expression to the spiritual aspiration which makes someone a Buddhist. Buddhists usually chant either Pali or Sanskrit, two ancient Indian languages, and chanting is the way of forging an emotional connection with the Buddhist ideals. And what is this chanting is often done? That is in every center or in the Sangha, in the community. And Buddhism very much believes in that Sangha or living together. And all the time when they gather, this is a constant chanting is going on. Buddham Sharanam Gacchami, Dharmam Sharanam Gacchami, Sangham Sharanam Gacchami. I have recourse to Buddha, or I do take recourse in Buddha. Then I do take recourse in Dharma. I do take recourse in the Sangha or the spiritual community. So this constantly being repeated, the recitation is there. Sometimes the Buddhists chant mantras, symbolic representation of enlightenment in the sound form. Offerings usually consist of flowers, symbolizing both beauty and impermanence. Candles, symbolizing the radiance of enlightenment, and incense which pervades the air in the same way that a life lived ethically touches the world. So what are some of the the rituals that are being done by the Buddhist? So there is an emotional outlet, that is, a chanting is there, then there is the offering is made, chanting, recitation and offering. Sometimes they recite some of the mantras, it's a representation of enlightenment in the sound form. Then offerings usually in the form of flower, candle and incense. Then we have seen about the ethics. So all these are focusing towards one aspect of an ethical life. That is the perfect thought, understanding, then livelihood, or different aspects which is leading you to an ethical way of life. To live is to act, and our actions can have either harmful or beneficial consequences for oneself and others. Buddhist ethics concerned with the principles and practices that help one to act in a way that may help rather than harm. The core ethical code of Buddhism is known as the 5 precepts, and these are the distillation of the ethical principles. So there are 5 precepts which every Buddhist is bound to practice. These precepts are not rules or commandments, but principles of training, which are undertaken freely and need to be put into practice with intelligence and sensitivity. The Buddhist tradition acknowledges that life is complex and throws up many difficulties, and it does not suggest that there is a single course of action which will be right in all circumstances. Indeed, rather than speaking of actions being right or wrong, Buddhism speaks of being skillful, that is kusala, or unskillful akusala. So that is regarding the ethics. That is every action, that is very much it is depending on you, or the principle of karma, that action produces fruit, either good or bad depending on the type of action you have. And therefore every action is going to accumulate either good fruits or bad fruits depending on what the actions are. Therefore, instead of speaking more about the action, what it would tell about, the Buddhist tradition acknowledges that life complex and throws up many difficulties, and there is no single solution for all the problems which you face. Rather, it is being skillful in understanding each of your action and analyzing them. There are 5 precepts which are followed by every Buddhist, which is showing that the ethical way of life, or in order to have the perfect vision, understanding, livelihood and all those things, you need these 5 precepts, which are the first precept: not killing or causing harm to other living beings. Not killing or causing harm to other living beings. This is the fundamental ethical principle for Buddhism, and all the other precepts are elaborations of this. The precept implies acting non-violently whenever possible, and many Buddhists are vegetarian for this reason. The positive counterpart of the precept is love. So what is that helps you to be kind towards others? That means not killing or causing harm to other living beings. It should be based on the aspect of love. Love which prompts you to be compassionate altruistic, going out of yourself, and have a compassion and kindness towards other people. Therefore, the first precept observed by all the Buddhists, not killing or causing harm to other living beings. Second precept, not taking the not given. Not taking the not given. That means you are not going to steal anything from others. Not forcefully you are going to take anything from the other. Stealing is an obvious way in which one can harm others. One can also take advantage of people, exploit them, or manipulate them. All these can be seen as ways of taking the not given. The positive counterpart of this precept is generosity.